Hello, good evening, my friends. I am Sandylu Guerrero of Life's Choice Coaching, your transformational business and life coach. I hope you're having a good evening. I know there's a lot going on the news, and I know everybody's like trying to disconnect and be connected at the same time, so I know it could be very challenging. Today's topic is all about entrepreneurship. I know that we could only hear so much about the negative stuff, so I want to bring in something positive, and one of the things being entrepreneurship, someone who has who has gone through challenges, overcome challenges, personal and professional, and has been very successful. And anyway, today my guest is Carmen Torres, which is one of my best friends, one of my angels here on heaven, from heaven on earth. And I'm gonna go ahead briefly move the camera a little bit because see it's a little bit tipped, and I'm going to log on to my tablet. I see all of you guys getting on, so if you're getting on, please remember to share. So sharing is caring. We're going to be sharing some insightful information, some tips about what works, what doesn't work. And maybe you're not an entrepreneur, maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you're thinking of starting a business, or maybe what you learn here is going to support you in the mindset of your life in general. So hi to, let's see, what did I do? So I'm connecting to my tablet here so that I can make sure to see all your comments. So please feel free to share also. And feel free to share. And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to share. We want to hear we want to hear your thoughts. Are there anything that is there anything we can support you with? As I've shared before, I'm a transformational business and life coach, and what I do is support people in transforming their life in mindset, in action, and in goals and accountability, etc., different things, and even changing the story of the past that maybe not be serving us. So please feel free to share and to ask questions and to post your comments. So I just want to acknowledge a few of you that got on. Let's see. We have Cecilia Herrera Bobolgan. Hello, Ceci. How are you? Hope you're doing great. Hello, Olga. Olga Vega. Sanchez de la Vega. Lupe Cruz. George Figueroa. Denise Hernandez. Anna Morales says, hi, Carmen and Sandylu. Hey, hi. Anna. If you want teeth whitening toothpaste, call Anna Morales. Ward. Bardo Cabrera, hello. Hello, everyone. I know there's more of you on. Say hi. Give us some hearts. Give us some love. We won't get mad. Let us know where you're watching from. We want to see what you're up to. We want to know who's watching, right? So remember to share, guys. Remember to share. Hello, Mike Alfaro. Hello. Rudy Escobar. Amy. Hi, Amy. I hope you're doing well. And so anyway, my guest for today is Carmen Torres, and like I shared earlier, she's one of my best friends, but she's also an entrepreneur. She's a business owner. She's the CEO of My HR Specialist. She has over 20 years of HR experience, and she's very active in the community. In fact, she is the vice president of the National Latina Business Women Association, which is actually where we met. And she's one of those women that is very supportive, very inspiring, very motivating, always learning and growing. We do tend to go to a lot of the networking places, and we go to workshops and stuff like that together, or we bump into each other there, because it's all about personal growth. The more we grow, the more we learn, the more we can serve our clients, our the people that we work with, right? In fact, and you. So if you have any questions regarding HR, or just business in general, entrepreneurship, or just maybe any kind of mindset challenges that you're having that we can support you with. Hello, my sister Lourdes. Hello, she's my other angel. My sister Patty Jimenez. All right, everyone. So I shared a little bit about Carmen Torres, and I'd like to hear more from you, Carmen Torres. Tell us more about your experience.
Great. Well, thank you, Sandylu, first of all, for having me. I really appreciate it. And well, I think when people ask me about, how did I become a business owner or an entrepreneur, one of the things that I remember when I was really young is just having parents, and particularly my mother, who gave me the experiences, or showed me the experiences. My mom, although she was working with the company for some time, eventually she became a business owner, and she's always been that person to who has had a business. And for example, she's been a Mary Kay director for many, many years now. I want to say over 20 years. And so seeing her doing that, not only that, but when she was working for a company in downtown LA, during the summertime or after work, if I would get out of school early, I would actually take the bus to her company and work there. So just having that experience from a really young age is something that shaped me. And I always knew I would be a business owner, but I didn't know in what capacity.
Yeah, and you know, I've had the privilege of meeting her mom and spending some time with her, and she's still going at it. She's
Yes.
still going at it. And in fact, I was telling Carmen earlier today, it's like, I totally see where you totally get it from. I was her mom is just a total go-getter entrepreneur. She's like an appointment after appointment,
Yes.
making her phone calls, putting in her orders online. I mean, I know sometimes people like maybe knock, you know, the multi-level marketing or
Right.
selling, etc. But I mean, your mom has gotten a few cars and a few diamond rings,
Yes.
and like, in fact, she just got the new 2018
The
car.
Chevy Cruze, and it's, you know, the Mary Kay staple car that, well, you don't see the pink cars very often anymore, but she did every 2 years. She has to work super hard and meet deadlines and goals, and lead her team. She has a team of over 50. And so she does that, and by accomplishing those goals, she's rewarded with a brand new car, new year, every year, or I'm sorry, every 2 years, she has a brand new car. She just picked it up, I think, a week ago. So congratulations, Mom. Very, very proud of you.
Felicidades, Margarita.
Yes.
Yeah, so imagine growing up with someone in your household, you know, being that way, showing, you know, leading by example that way, what's possible. And I think your father was also, he did, I can't think of the word.
Carpentry.
Carpentry.
Yes. Wood
Carpentry.
making, cabinetry, you know, furniture is definitely something he did. And he's retired now, but up to a couple of years ago, he did have a store in El Sereno. And it was really nice because, again, you know, just having my parents to have it an example of what it could be and what it looks like, what the possibilities are, that was very nice. So I'm very, very grateful to them.
Yeah, no, and I seen the work that your dad's done. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work.
Yes.
Yeah, you said at some point he was selling to like really famous people.
Yes.
And stuff like that. They ordered specifically from him, for
Absolutely.
him.
I remember, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard being one of the individuals who my father would make cabinetry for. And I remember that story from a very young age. And being that my father is a boxing fan and Sugar Ray Leonard was one of the clients, you know, definitely very special.
Very cool, very cool. And I've had the privilege of meeting all of Carmen's family, so it's great. I love doing. I'm excited that Carmen decided to join me because I know a lot about her and I know a lot about her background. And she's a person who really, you know, she's a hard worker. She's very dedicated and committed to what she does. In fact, she just came from Rhode Island. You went to
Yes.
a training. You've gone a few times, but you're also a speaker at this
Yes.
workshop for entrepreneurs. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely.
experience?
I think, you know, one of the things that I have noticed and that supports me in my growth in my business and both professionally and on a personal level is working with coaches. And so this opportunity that I've had, I was able to become aware of it because of my business coach, Jim Palmer. And hi, Jim, if you get to watch this. And so he hosts an event every year or twice a year, and it's the Dream Business Academy. And earlier this year in February, I was invited to speak to a group of entrepreneurs to talk to them about the importance of classifying your workers appropriately. This is, you know, employee versus independent contractor. And so I spoke in Orlando in February. And I was invited to return again to Rhode Island, and it was just a really nice experience. But aside from having the opportunity to speak, I also had the opportunity to learn about so many other things that come into play that we don't realize that when we're in business that we have to be aware of. And, you know, some of those things are social media, you know, how to stay on top of you know, keeping business in the pipeline. And so I was very grateful to, you know, some of the presenters like Lindsay, for example, Lindsay Anderson. And another topic that was very crucial and first time at Dream Business Academy was accounting, taxes, how to structure your business. That's something that's also super, super important. So if you are planning on starting a business, or if you've already started your business and you don't have a set structure, definitely talk to someone who can support you with that. And then another one was about copyright and, trademarking. So again, it's something that I'm starting to consider, and it was just amazing to be able to pick up on all of that great information.
Yeah, and it's really good stuff. I mean, I think when I, just even my own experience is like, you do what you have with what you have to a certain point, and then you kind of like cap off there, and then it's the next level, and the next level is, trademark or copyright, or, all these different things. So there's so many layers to it, but the main point is to start. Right, to start and to keep going despite everything that comes with it.
Yes, because it doesn't matter how many years we have in business, how much experience we have, but we never stop learning. There's always something more that's, something new. I mean, I learned some really amazing things about Facebook and ads, and, I was very just grateful to have all of that information. And it was a 3-day event, and it's something that I enjoy doing. It's something that I've always seen my mom do, even through, her Mary Kay conferences. Every year she's off to a new place, whether it's Dallas or New Orleans. I mean, just so many places. Recently it was here in Los Angeles. And so again, just seeing her go through that, I know that it's part of our growth.
It is. It's great. And I mean, it's great. And for you people that are out there that have kids, they're watching. They're watching no matter how old or how young. They are watching. So remember that they're watching. So lead by example. I was telling Carmen earlier, I love my mom, and my mom was a woman that was very loving, but my mom didn't have that kind of demeanor. That wasn't like in her. She was more of the nurturer, and although your mom is a total nurturer, you want to feed you and all that stuff, but my mom was very different in that sense. And I think, man, what would I be if my mom was more that way, knowing me, that I've always stepped out of the box and out of the comfort zone, and still in a sense still holding on to the box, but running out of the box, because there was no one in front of me that could be my example of it's okay to get out of the box. There's a lot of things out of the box.
Yes, and it doesn't always, look like what we think business ownership should be. I mean, sometimes, it could be a business owner or an entrepreneur could be someone who sells on a weekly basis, at a local swap meet, or, they go to conventions. I mean, it's different for everyone. And I think sometimes, we do think like, well, if I want to have a business, I have to have an office, I have to have space and employees, and not necessarily. There's a lot of online businesses that are up and coming right now too. So, your business could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it's not being attached to it, just the willingness to go. I remember when I started my first women's group, I was like, there were live groups, and I was like, I don't have a location, my funds are low, where do I do it, blah, blah, blah. At the end, I was like, you know what? One of my mentors started her business in her house and was having workshops at her house. I was like, you know what? Wait a minute. The light turned on. Ding, 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 ding. And that's why also mentors and coaches are so important. But I realized, I can start it at home. I can start at home. And I did it for a while from home, and it was beautiful. I loved it.
Yes. I mean, I know of people who have started fitness centers, from their garage, and they're very successful. They have really great clients, and, it's an ongoing program that they have on a regular basis. So again, your business can start from wherever you are. It doesn't have to be, what we think it needs to be.
And I think one other thing, and we were talking about this earlier, I know we had a really long conversation earlier, and we realized, I think we're starting the interview already.
Too bad we weren't recording at that time.
And we're talking about how, as we go through life, we take certain jobs, certain positions, and we learn certain things. And if we choose to not just learn our own thing and stay on that one thing that we learn, say you're an accountant, but you don't know anything about HR, and you don't know anything about, social media or whatever, then you kind of limit to what you can do. But the more you expand, the more you learn, as time goes by, it just all comes together.
Yes.
It just all comes together. And I know for a fact, like, that's been my experience. And we're discussing how you started your career.
Right.
So let's talk about that. How did you start?
Okay,
that's
great.
Why.
Absolutely. So, it's really interesting because although I've had HR experience for over 20 years, I really feel that my experience was expanded more so when I decided to go into an HR specific position. And at that time, it was a decision I had to make. First of all, I had to realize that I was going to accept a position that paid less than what I was making at the time. And, I had a home to sustain, a single mother. And so, there's decisions that you have to make. But I also knew that in looking at HR, it was definitely the field that I was super interested in. And I knew that it was something that I could do well, and I just really enjoyed it. I knew that there were risks that I had to take, and that was one of the risks that I decided to take. I created a budget, to make sure that I could, keep my living standards and be able to get the experience that I needed. So after becoming, going, from the bottom as an HR assistant, and eventually becoming a manager and a director of different companies, the last position that I had actually in 2009, the very top of 2009, I found myself in a place where I had to I had to lay off 90% of the staff that we were working with. As many of you may recall, it was definitely a really bad time for employers, and a lot of employees were being laid off. So we had a project. We were building a theme park in Dubai, and we were just at that time frame of about to take a team of 50 or so and to Dubai so that they can start working on that project. And we were short, it's just a few months away from that point when I received notice from the executive team letting me know that we had to lay off all these employees. Not only was the news a shock, but then it had to be done within 72 hours. I think that was where I realized, wow, we're about to change the lives of so many people. And in realizing that, I put myself in the position of the employee, all of those employees who had to leave other employment to come, with our company, those employees who left their home states to come to California so that they could be a part of this project. Some of them left their families behind, others brought their families. And so I knew that we were about to make changes that we had no control over at that point. So what I realized in that moment is that the way that we communicate the information was going to be crucial to that process. And we had to be super sensitive. We had to be super informative. And in that space, it just felt, well, first of all, I felt really confident because I was working with a really great company. But after laying off all of these employees and going through the procedures that we had to go through, everything with the employment development department, we had to offer them severance pay and all the benefits that we had to go through, I ended up having to lay myself off 2 months after that and found myself in a place of decision making. What do I do? I had a lot of friends, and I knew a lot of people who were going to unemployment, who were taking jobs that didn't pay them half as much as what they were already earning. So it was really difficult, but I was grateful that I had the ability to fall back on something else that my mom taught me, which was event planning. My mom was that person who was doing quinceañeras and flower arrangements, and this is not something that she went to school for to become an event planner. It was just something that she picked up, something that was easy for her. And so I fell back on that experience, did a little bit of that, and worked with some nonprofits like the George Lopez Foundation. And in the midst of all that, I realized that there was a need from small business owners. I found that a lot of people were contacting me and asking me questions, how do I handle this situation? Again, it's 2009, a lot of employees are being laid off. And I realized, wow, there's a really good need here. There's a need for small business owners to have support from an HR professional who can guide them and ensure that they are in compliance and that, they're limiting their risk and liability. And at that point, I became an independent consultant. I started working on a 1099, and eventually, I found myself being self-employed. And after a couple of years of that, I mean, it was great. I realized I was sustaining myself. I could go on vacation and have the time off that I needed. But I had a conversation with this young man, and I remember, just thinking like, wow, it's really amazing to see these individuals just learning and taking things in and building really great businesses. And he said to me, but you're not a business owner. You're a independent contractor. You're self-employed. And there's a difference between being a business owner and being self-employed. And so in 2014 is when my friend Gabby Torres and we brainstormed a little bit, and she asked me, some really great questions about what I wanted for my business, or where I thought I saw my business going. And, that's where my HR specialist was developed. I can't even believe that the website was available for it. So we purchased it instantly, and here we are today. And I'm excited.
Now, backtracking though, in 2009, how old were you?
Oh my gosh. Do I need to say that? No.
Yes, that's the thing, is that I think that sometimes people think, I'm too young, I'm too poor, I'm too rich, I'm too, there's always some reason or excuse.
Yes.
And I've been around a lot of amazing people, and a lot of them started over 40, you know. In fact, I was over 40.
Yes. Yes. No, well, you know what? And that is a really great point, because I was 39, or about to be 39. And I realized, wow, it is definitely, I knew I saw myself as a business owner, but I didn't know that HR would be what it was. As I mentioned, that I fell back into event planning, because there was a point where I had a business. I had an event planning company. I had a store location, and, I added flowers and decorations because it was, something that my mom had. But there was a lot of overhead, and I realized, it's not the way I want to run a business. There's too many expenses. And so I shut that down after some time. And I didn't know that HR would actually be what I would do. But I knew and I want to mention this because I think this is really important also, at the time I was already a member of the National Latina Business Women's Association, and I went to one of their programs. I attended the program, the Business Management Academy, which is in fact coming up at the beginning of the year in 2018. Just want to put that little plug in there for NLBWA. Yes. And as a result of being in that session, we were at the point, I think it was the first or second class. It was the first class, and they said, okay, I'm here to grow my business. What's your business, Carmen? I talked about, Events by Carmen Torres, and, I was excited about it. And then the following week comes, and I go to the session, and all of a sudden is, no, it's not events. My business is now HR consulting. And, by that point, I realized, like, wow, I just made a change here. I made a decision based on what made me happy. I loved event planning. I was working with some amazing celebrities, but the time that it took for me to produce an event was just not satisfying to me. And I found more satisfaction in helping the small business owner and employees and helping them communicate that positive change. So it can happen at any time. Again, I was almost 40 or about to be 39. And when I decided to, go into that realm of business owner as opposed to finding a job. And I knew at that point that I would never go back to a regular job.
It's hard?
Yes, it's very hard. What? I have to be there at 8 in the morning? No, thank you.
And it's really awesome. You and I have very profound talks, and we talk about business, and we're always brainstorming different ideas and future projects and etc. But I think that, for all of you out there that are considering entrepreneurship, or you're an entrepreneur, like, it's really important to surround yourself with people that are doing it as well, because not everyone, you'll have a lot of support from your loved ones, but they will not understand the challenges and the struggles or what you're thinking, because that's not the way they think, and that's not where they're at in their life. Not right or wrong, good or bad, but it makes it harder for an entrepreneur to keep moving forward if they don't have the support of people that are doing it, are in the trenches, are going through the challenges and the triumphs, and you know, we don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
There's things, you know, and also the importance of using your network, and you know, everybody helping each other and supporting one another, etc. So if you're not part of any particular group, a mastermind, anything like that, you don't have a coach or mentor, those things are really important. They're really important because it's challenging. It's challenging.
Yes.
What was like one of the moments where you kind of felt challenged yourself?
Well, there was a time about, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, where I was in that position of, I hadn't yet started my HR specialist, and my parents became very ill. And so I was challenged with, you know, do I become a business owner? And then I received a really amazing offer from a great company to come and work for them full time. And I didn't want to say no from the beginning, so I did explore that opportunity. And in exploring that opportunity, while all the benefits were just fabulous, the pay was ridiculous. I mean, it was amazing. You know, the location was, you know, maybe I think 6 or 7 miles away from my home. So it's all ideal. It's the kind of stuff that we're looking for when we're employees. And I think it's great, you know, when you're an employee and you get to have all the benefits that you're content with, I think it's awesome. But while I was considering that opportunity, my parents became very sick and they needed to be hospitalized. And it's an emotional part of my story, because I realized my why for being in business. And it was so that I could be with my family whenever I wanted to, you know, so that I can make my own decisions, so that I wouldn't have to be asking for permission to go see my parents at the hospital. So it was an easy no, you know, like, no, I cannot accept this position. And from that point on, I just went, you know, straight forward and built what I built today. And I you know, I couldn't be happier. It was a decision that I'm just so grateful for. You know, it was unfortunate that it took that situation, and luckily both my parents recovered, you know, from it. They're fully recovered now from it, but it was a very traumatizing situation, and you know, deciding like, wow, I'm gonna, you know, a 6+ figure, and I have to start on Monday, but my parents have been hospitalized for a couple of days now. No, it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. I knew that I would make that and much more if I had my own business, and that's what I've been working at. And you know, it's just really exciting to be there.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes life has a way of kicking us to really get real with ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it is, you know, that paycheck, that you know, regular thing that you know, it's very enticing, but when you really look at the overall vision of your life, then you know, it sinks in, you know, do I want to be, you know, I'll be comfortable being uncomfortable in this decision. And I know, and you've designed your business so that you don't have to be, you could do it anywhere.
Absolutely.
And in fact, you recently had a family emergency where you had to leave out of the state, and and you were able to do it. And you know, I was with you when you got the news.
Yes.
So, you know, these are things to consider while you're building a business, while you are considering a career or a career change. Is what kind of flexibility does it give me? How does it support me and my family? How does it, you know, how does it look in the bigger picture, the bigger vision of my life? And we got to ask ourselves questions and trust our intuition, because you know, I know in the past I took jobs that I knew, you know, I knew like it wasn't a fit, and then I was like, you know, and so either I sabotaged it or I just quit, you know, like I know now, not for me, you know. And so I think that stop, you know, it was a waste of my time, like when it came down to it, you know. And of course this was in my early 20s, you know, we do all kinds of stuff in our early 20s, not to say we don't do it in our 30s or 40s, but I mean, it's just, you know, goofy things that we do, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I did it once too. You know, I took a job because it was like 3 miles away from home, and I just thought it was so convenient. I walked in there, they showed me what I needed to do. I went out to lunch and never went back. So
yeah, well,
I've done it.
You know what? That's funny, but you know, and I'm mentioning this story briefly. When I was like maybe 21, I ended up working at this gem wholesaler. And you know how sometimes people say, you know, your job, you're a prisoner to your job, or, you know, when you work at somewhere for someone else and it's not your, you know, what you want to do, then your spirit is dying, you know, every day, 8 hours a day, etc., whatever. But anyway, talk about feeling like a prisoner at your job. Okay, there was cameras everywhere. You couldn't enter a room. I remember I grabbed some gens, and I was going to the owner was going to sort them out and then kind of go and then pick up the best ones, because you know the quality that they were looking for. And I remember I was just so nervous that I dropped them. I mean, there was a carpet. There was a carpet, but it was just like everything about that place. Like there was cameras everywhere. Like even while we're sitting in our little cubicle, it was insane. I was like, and I remember one day I was just like, I know that I had got him mad, and I was like, he's gonna fire me, and I hate this job. I'm not even coming back. I went to lunch and I didn't come back. I was like, I'm done.
And it does happen quite a bit. I don't recommend it, but
yeah,
but it does happen. And yes, like I said, I did that in my early 20s one time, and that was it.
Let me take some time here to say hi to some people and acknowledge some people. Thank you for if you're just tuning in, I'm Sandylu Guerrero of Life's Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach. And my guest for today is Carmen Torres, CEO of HR, my HR specialist, and she's an entrepreneur and community leader with our National Latina Businesswomen Association, among also, you also do the I'm with Toastmasters.
Yes, HBN Toastmasters in Glendale, and I've been on their board. This is my second term, or my second year as the treasurer.
Great, yes. Great. So let's say hi to some people. So if you just tuned in, you could always watch it on the replay. And also, if you just tuned in, or anybody that's on, if you haven't shared, remember to share. That this is all about empowering, inspiring you or your loved ones to create an extraordinary life, an opportunity to learn something different. I really believe that we're one sentence away from completely altering the course of someone's life. And something we might say here, I'm hoping that it'll trigger something in you to inspire you and motivate you to take your life onto a new level, and also be in gratitude of where you're at and where you want to go. And you know, you'll be making a difference in someone's life just by simply sharing a video. I hear this all the time.
Yes.
Even I'm big on watching videos, and I hear something and it's like, oh wow, you know, it inspires me to write something, do something. It inspires me on a particular coaching I'm giving a client, or a workshop that I'm working on or doing. So please remember to share. All right, let's say hi to some people here. Let's see, where did I leave off? Okay, Patty Jimenez, Natalie Nicole, Leticia Gonzalez, Tere Contreras, Liz and Mario Porras, my cousins over there. I think you guys are in New Mexico. He's a truck driver, so I always see him different places.
Yes.
Albano, Anthony Toro, Anna Morales Ward says, I need to talk to your mom, Carmen. That's awesome. Yeah, you gotta connect with her.
She's so awesome. Inspirational. It's amazing.
Yes. Hello, Janet Paredes. Janet Paredes owns one of the branches of IET Capital.
Yes, I had the pleasure of meeting Janet at one of your workshops. Right, a couple of weeks ago, or about a week ago or so.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
2 weeks ago. Yeah, I did the personality style. All right, Benjamin Galvan, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. She's under Gorgeous. She was one of my former women's rival groups. Carla Perez, Lupita Mesa, Leti Aguaño, Mary Sandoval, Denise Mejia. Hello, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Hi. Let's see. Denise is on the board of National Latina Businesswomen Association with us.
We're so thankful for amazing leaders like Denise.
Yes. Stephanie Mesa, Nancy Victoria, Carol Condor, Alex Limon. Hello, Alex. Jessie Ramos, Liliana Andriani, Marisela Limon. Hello, Miss Bing Bong. Liliana Andriani says, wow. I don't know at what point she said it, but yes.
Thank you,
Carmen. Daisy Robles, I'm glad that you're on. That lets me know that you're okay. Daisy lives in Vegas.
Okay.
And she was working, I believe, in the MGM at one point.
Wow.
But
our heartfelt prayers for everyone in Las Vegas, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a crazy few weeks for everybody. I think that it's been pretty intense, and I think that there's so much for us to learn in that in all that's going on, that we really get to be prepared for.
Yes.
And the other thing is about doing what we love regardless, because at any given point we could be gone, or our loved one could be gone. So remember to be in gratitude and show your love, share your love, be giving, and be grateful, and go for what you want, man. Like, just go for what you want.
Say yes.
Yes, say yes. Just go for what you want. If you don't go for what you want your whole life, you're gonna be thinking, what have I done? Could I've done it? What did I have done it? What what could have happened? The least thing you know is at a minimum, you tried, that you made the effort, but if you're gonna make the effort, really make the effort. And again, get support from the people that are already doing it or have already done it. Get mentors, get coaches, go to workshops. You could never know too much,
right.
And there's always another perspective for the same thing that you might understand differently that will be helpful.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see. Cristina Cupa, Imelda Martinez, Elizabeth Gutierrez. She says, hello, ladies. Maricela Carlos, Maggie DQ, Victor Mora.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Maggie. Victor Mora, Luis Mendoza, Mark Casas, Eddie Contreras.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Eddie. Hope you're doing well. Ricky Martinez, Mark Casas. Hello. He says, go, ladies. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Celia Navarro, Artemio Caballero, Yesenia Gallegos. Yesenia Gallegos is an attorney. She is a partner, and I can't remember the name of the company, but she's amazing, and she's also, her thing is with employers as well.
Oh,
her
wonderful.
specialty is with employers.
Absolutely. Well, maybe
Probably
you should connect us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, Yesenia Gallegos, Carmen Torres,
Yes.
right here, HR specialist, and she's amazing. She's beautiful, and she was recognized at the Hispanic Lifestyle event last year.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations.
All right. And Diana Barrera, another entrepreneur, beautiful entrepreneur. And I can't remember the name of it, but she has these beautiful like coats.
Yes.
They look kind of like they have like gold, and I don't know, they're beautiful. They look really classy. So I gotta get one of those.
Maybe she can share her link as well, so we can check them out.
Yeah, I could have her on the show.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so Diana Barrera, put your link on. Veronica Corona, another powerful
Hi, amiga.
Latina business owner too,
Yes.
of CM Cleaning. She's one of
Solutions.
our, it's like we're the three amigas here.
That's right.
All right, Marlene Guzman, another powerful Latina actress. She's just amazing. Liz Miranda Torres, you're an inspiration, Carmen.
Oh, she's my cousin from El Paso.
Oh.
And she's one of the family members that I was out there with last month.
Oh,
so
okay.
hi, Liz. Love you guys.
Hi, Liz. I hope everything's well. I'm happy that things are turning out.
They are much better. Absolutely.
Yes. Willie Rosas, Tammy Membrano, Natalie McKnight.
Hi, Tammy.
Hello, Tammy. Azucena
Latina
Molina.
Golfers Association.
Yes. We're giving shout outs to everybody today. So if you're not on, you missed out. And
Today, right?
put your link on.
Yes,
Right?
today's Entrepreneur Day. At least we're having
For
that
tonight, right?
conversation.
Put your link
So
on.
definitely shout out to all the business owners.
Yeah, share your link.
Absolutely.
It's an abundant world, and there's we could look at it as, oh my gosh, everybody's my competition, or we could realize there's like a lot of people in this world and
Yes.
they need our services. Right?
Everybody does, and one of the really great things about being a business owner too is that you get to bring other people with you. You get to create a team that supports you, and many times they might be someone that does similar work to what you do, but maybe the area that they work in is not your area. So support each other, definitely, always.
Yeah, and different ways. I mean, I've asked you, can you come when I'm doing my live show? When I had
The attorneys regarding DACA.
Yeah, when I had the Mama
Cheesecake,
and
Marianne.
she came and helped me, and and I'm like, hey, do you need? I went to one of your workshops. I can help you a little
Yes.
bit, but we've talked about different things, and we're actually going to be collaborating on a
Yes.
workshop in
Be on
November.
the lookout for it.
So keep your eye out. Let's see. Azucena says excellent. Hello, Gilda Petit. Also, she has what is it? Her nonprofit organization. Gilda, share your.
Yes, and wow, I don't remember the name.
Entrepreneur women in
Guatemala. Absolutely.
Entrepreneur women
Follow Gilda Pettit. She does amazing work with entrepreneurs in Guatemala, and Gilda, great work.
Yes, and I talked to her briefly last week, and so we're going to be scheduling her in too, so she could come
Great.
and share her story. amazing. I saw
Wonderful.
videos of what they did over there, and it was just amazing.
Yes.
So let's see. Abraham Lopez, how do you remain confident yet humble?
Wow, I've never been asked that question, but I think one of the things that has helped me is really always continuing to grow, to learn, to give back. For example, today, we were short on time this evening, but what I did today was I went to meet with a group of new business owners, or actually they're not even business owners yet. It's a group that is thinking about becoming entrepreneurs. And so I went to talk to them about the essentials of HR and in California. So giving back and knowing that what you do and what you say can make a difference for others is something that I've learned from both my mother and my father. That is something that I grew up with, always seeing my father literally giving the shirt off his back. He always taught us to be humble and to be givers and to be, just good people. And I don't know, it's just something that works well for the profession that I'm in.
Oh, it's necessary.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
it
necessary.
is.
And although, I've seen people in your field that are very, there's a wall.
Well,
and I know,
yes.
and I know there's a part of it is that you have to have that wall in a sense.
Right. And HR, there's that thing about HR. It's, like, okay, everyone is in HR is just so strict. But I remember, in fact, it was one of the reasons why I decided to go into HR in the early 90s or mid 90s. And now I'm dating myself. Well, it doesn't matter. I already gave my age, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. But,
so funny.
yeah, it's exactly what happened. I realized, I don't like the way employees were being treated at one of the companies that I was at, and I vowed to make a difference, and that's the reason I went into HR. And I didn't want to be that HR person that people were afraid to go to. And in fact, one of my taglines is to communicate positive change, to help people communicate positive change. And it's what I try to do on a regular basis. And it's hard, it's still hard no matter what, but it's something that I'm working on. I continue to work on, and, and I acknowledge that, sometimes I also, fall into that place of negativity. But again, it's about being able to acknowledge what you're doing and then making a difference and making things better.
Yeah, and I think Abraham Lopez, to add to it, and in all of you, obviously, I would say that being in gratitude supports in being in humility. When we're not in gratitude, then we are in a state of arrogance, a state of where we're running with our ego, we're leading with our ego, and our ego has taken over. And back in my scary days, pre-transformational work, I would show up in ways that way, like I was better than,
Right.
And I was like, how ridiculous.
Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like, I don't know everything, and I'm okay with saying that, and there's always something more to learn. And do I make, I owning my mistakes, accepting, learning from the breakdowns and the breakthroughs, etc. It's really being in gratitude of all that is and all that isn't.
Yes.
So that you can, and especially the people that support you in getting where you're at,
Absolutely.
it's not, it's not an easy journey. So gratitude, I think, is key to staying humble.
Yes, and to be surrounded by people who feel the same way, who speak the same language you do, who have the same aspirations. And it doesn't mean that we leave behind those who don't. It just means that when it comes to wanting to build our businesses, or or sometimes maybe we can even help that person. Maybe there's something we can say or do to help that person who's not yet in that space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have conversations, and they're like, "Oh, who's your client?" Or, "Oh, you know what? I already know her. I trust her." Mm-hmm. I'm always referring her to different people because I know that her service is very important. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and her service is very important. And so if you are an entrepreneur, you have a business, or you're starting a business, having an HR person that you go to on a regular basis, especially if you could get them in the beginning, even better, because now you're being guided, and now you're not
Yes.
trying to clean up a mess. You're starting on, already on the right foot.
Yes.
So it's really important. I don't think that people understand that. I've had, like we've talked, when you talk to me about stuff, I understand it because
Absolutely.
I did have different jobs in HR, in accounting, I mean, full circle, like, etc., manage, a bunch of things. So I understand the importance of it and the knowledge of it. So don't try to learn everything by yourself, because it's too much when you are, I mean, I tell people, you can't see here, but I have lights, and it was just a big old, as you can see, my background is
Production.
different. It's a production, and I'm like the producer, the director, I'm the talent scout, like you name it. I got to do research on the people that I interview, etc. I mean, there's so much just to this part of it. That doesn't count the social media part of it. And I think that there's so much that sometimes we need to delegate, or having friends that say, hey, you know what, this is a better idea, or how about you try this, because they've been there, they've seen it, or they did a workshop of some sort where they saw it work.
Absolutely. And sometimes, when you are first starting in your business, I mean, you're limited on funds. So think like, wow, I can't afford that. What do I do? But definitely reach out to your local EDD offices, different work source centers. They offer a lot of workshops and trainings that are available to new business owners, which is what I did today. It's a program that is offered to people who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs, and they'll bring in specialists to support you in your decision making, but always look for resources that are available.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that there's a lot of resources available that are free.
Yes.
In fact, we even, as National Latina Businesswomen Association, we do have workshops. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but very minimal. In fact, we have one starting tomorrow.
Yes, it's
we might as well put the plug in.
Absolutely, why not? So it's the Edge workshop, and I don't remember exactly which one is tomorrow. It may be communication or leadership, right?
It's leadership.
It's leadership. So it's not too late to sign up, and if you'd like to, just go to our website at www.nlbwa-la.org and register for the Edge workshop, which is sponsored by the Southern California Edison.
All right, yeah, and also, collaboration is really, we're lucky in this organization that we get sponsors.
Yes.
and it's nonprofit. So, but it doesn't mean that you can get sponsors for some of the stuff, or people to invest in what you're doing, or things like that. There's so much out there, but you gotta, that's why it's important to get out there and be with people that are doing it, because there's so much to learn. And if you meet people that you can have that, powwow, or that, what, I'm having a breakdown, or, do you guys have, I'm thinking of this, do you guys have any ideas, that kind of stuff. And it's amazing. I can tell you that that's one of my things that I'm so grateful for Carmen and Veronica and many other people that have been a great source for myself.
Hazel, Priscilla,
Hazel, Priscilla,
Absolutely.
great people. In fact, we have our little group, and we're always, checking in with each other, and so it supports us. But I'm so glad that you're here finally.
Right? Well, this was a challenge for me too, because I think a lot of people know also that, being live or being on camera is not something that I'm comfortable with. So again, it's about overcoming challenges and, just doing, making a first, something that you didn't think you would be able to do. So thank you. I want to thank you for that, because, you did challenge me to come on, and, it's okay.
That's what it is all about. It was I've been in a different transition right now, so my schedule was a little thrown off, so having my guest scheduled for this week was a little behind. But I'm very grateful that you last minute, it was kind of last minute, right? Because typically
Sunday, maybe I think
Sunday.
Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday?
Sunday. We were talking on Sunday. In fact, that's when we heard the news about Vegas. We were on the phone.
Yes.
But anyway, let me, Jesse Ramos made a comment. Let's see what he says. You have greatness in you, and I am proud of your keen leadership as you lead through the front. What do you attribute your amazing success?
Wow. Well, it really goes down again, back to having great examples. And once you know that you don't know something, it was realizing that I needed help. And in the last, I would say maybe it's been 4 years since I've been working with business coaches. So I'm very grateful, because I started working with Marianne, and she was definitely someone that supported me, for the groundwork in terms of what I wanted, my why in my business, and determining, how I wanted to lead my business, how I wanted to lead in my business. And then now more recent with my business coach, Jim Palmer. And it's knowing that you can't know everything, so you have to keep learning. You have to keep searching and, reaching out to other people who can support you. I know that I can't do everything myself, so I have to have a team. And now it's like starting to look at, okay, I need an accountant, a CPA who can support me in that area. And it was realizing that I can't do everything myself. I was falling behind in my business on my billing, and I knew that I needed to bring on an assistant to support me with that. So it's making decisions that maybe you don't think you're ready for, and taking on those challenges, like having the expense of hiring an employee or having independent contractors. I think that has really contributed to what I'm able to grow now. And it's just taking that risk and just going for it and trusting that you're going to be able to get through it.
Yeah, and it's all about taking risks, right? I mean, I think they said that through great risk come great rewards.
Yes.
You got to be willing to be very uncomfortable, right? Because if you
Absolutely.
want to be comfortable, there's no growth in being comfortable.
Right.
And that's key, is risking.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship is risky, but what's on the other side of that?
Absolutely, it is. And for example, another one is that I didn't want to speak, and it wasn't something that I wanted to do, and it wasn't something that I thought I needed to do in my business. But with so much, so many people doing videos and all this social media, I realized, wow, I'm not bringing in business anymore from word of mouth. I have to get myself out there. I have to, take advantage of speaking opportunities. So I challenged myself this year at the beginning of the year to have a speaking engagement every month this year. And so far I've been able to have those speaking engagements, and in some cases 2 or 3 a month that I'm blessed. And so the only month I don't have booked yet is December, but we still have a little bit of time. So
you guys hear that?
So December is open, and and that's what I do. I go and talk to business owners about challenges, about how to run their business, about how to stay compliant with local, state, and federal regulations. So there's so much to do in the HR world. Absolutely.
There is, and you're really great at explaining. I've been at your workshops, so you're very good at explaining. And when people ask you, like, you just know, I'm like, you're super knowledgeable, which I love, because that helps me to refer people to you, right? Because I really know, like, first, I'm always coaching entrepreneurs, and a lot of it is really on personal, more than anything, personal mindset.
Yes.
And in there, I connect them to different people that specialize on certain things. So a lot of them I do refer to Carmen, because I know that is really crucial to what they're up to and what they're doing, especially because what we're working on is to get the mindset straight,
Yes.
get themselves out of the way to take themselves onto a new level. So new level means we're going to require other things. We're going to need new things, HR, someone who focuses all on social media marketing, etc., that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Because it's always, the next level. You got to keep up with the times. I'm
Yes.
like, Facebook is constantly changing, and now LinkedIn added video.
Absolutely.
and events, like, it's just constantly changing.
Right, and so are the laws, and in California in particular. I mean, if you're in other states, the laws don't change as much as they do in California. But there's so many things that are happening, and so you have to stay on top of it. And if you haven't updated your handbook, from 1 year ago, your handbook's already outdated. So imagine those companies, those businesses who haven't updated their handbook in 2 years and 5 years. And I've seen handbooks, from the early 2000s. So there's a lot of support that's necessary for small business owners.
Now, what do you think is the benefit of them going to you versus like these big corporations that specialize in HR?
That's a great question, because I have actually had clients who have started with me, and then at one point or another decided that they wanted to go with the big corporation because it was going to be more cost effective for them. However, 2-3 months later down the road, they come back, and what they tell me is that they don't get that one-on-one with the corporations. Not only that, but their employees don't really get to know who they're working with, and the employees don't trust the people on the phone. So that's what I'm able to offer them. I'm able to offer them the opportunity to get to know me and to trust me. And trust is very important when it comes to human resources. If your team doesn't trust you, if the employees don't trust you, if the managers don't trust you, you're not going to be able to make any changes. And that is one of the things that sets me apart from corporations who have 800 numbers, and that's the only way you can connect to them.
Yeah, and all they do is refer you to someone else.
They refer you to an attorney. Absolutely, because they can't answer, many questions over the phone, and they have to be very cautious. And not to say that I, shouldn't either, but I mean, I'm not an attorney. However, I do have a team that, I go to. I have a team of attorneys who I check in with, and I make sure that I'm providing the appropriate information to my clients. I always recommend to my client to, reach out and seek more support if that's necessary.
All right. So, and that's the importance too about, I think networking is so important, very important. As an entrepreneur, business owner, networking is like really important, because you never know what service you might need. You never know what service your client might need.
Yes.
And being able to even fill a service that your client needs. And I know you referred someone earlier. I referred to you someone that I had just talked to over the week.
Absolutely.
And they ended up being a perfect fit for what you're looking
Yes.
for. And now your client is going to have, so it's
Absolutely.
key. It's very important. Let me see. Someone had another question, and time flies. Okay, we have a few more minutes.
Okay, let's try to answer that question.
Let's go back down. Abraham Lopez had one more question. He says, one more question before I go. How should a business owner handle failure?
That is a really good question. And failure should be handled with direct. It should definitely be direct, clear, concise, and with a goal, or not a goal, but a plan to correct it. So a lot of my clients, want to write up employees right away, or they find that there's a troubled employee that, they just have regularly. And so when I see that happening, I recommend performance improvement plans. And I've been doing those with some of my clients recently. And I find that they work really well, because what a performance improvement plan does is it alerts the employee as to where they are not performing, and then it sets an expectation and their goals and the timeline in which they need to be accomplished. And if they're not accomplished, then the employee pretty much knows what the consequence is, because you've documented that consequence. And many times the consequence may be termination.
Okay. And now, as an entrepreneur, what's your take? I mean, I have mine, and I'll add to it. But as far as an entrepreneur, did you ever experience any time where you felt like you failed, or I mean, how? I'm thinking that's part of the question that Abraham wants to know is how do you handle failure?
I see. Okay, yeah. I understand that now. So the way, again, it comes down to revisiting what my end goal is, right? And so having small goals that I'm accomplishing on a regular basis, that really helps me and supports me to see that, I'm getting there. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be difficult, and I think acknowledging that from the beginning is very important. But again, setting very small goals to get you to the big goal is what helps me. And when I do fail at those, I'm not going to give up. I know that, I look at, why did I fail? Why didn't this work? What could I have done differently to make this a better outcome? And, that's what I've been able to do now, is question myself, but be kind to myself also, because there were times where, it's easy to fall into depression. It's easy to want to give up, and it's easy to, just let go of all that time and money.
Beat up mode, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's just acknowledging that it's going to happen. You're going to fail sometimes, but what's the next thing that you can do? What else can you do?
Yeah, and yes, like Carmen says, we got to ask ourselves questions. What worked, what didn't work, and and I really don't like to use the word failure.
Right.
I'll say it you know, because that's the common language.
Yes.
But I think it's just really looking at what worked, what didn't work, what was missing in me,
Yes.
what could I have done differently. Because if you get caught up in the failure, you know, the F word, then you feel effed.
Yep.
And then you're stuck. And there's no learning or
Yes.
growing there. And then there's no taking time or energy on where do I get to go now? What is it that I get to do? And not more importantly, who is it do I get to be? What way of being is going to support me to keep moving forward? And of course, it's always going to be, I get to be positive, optimistic, and trust that I'm going to
Yes.
figure it out, you know, even if
Absolutely.
you don't have all the answers, right?
Yes.
But great question. And thank you for your questions. I think that's really
Yes,
important. And this
definitely.
goes for everything. It doesn't, you know, when we're talking about failures, this applies to everything. It's not necessarily just entrepreneurship, but everything. I'm going to say hi to a few of you, and then we're going to do closing statements.
great.
But we've had a few people come in, and
I see
out.
Kristen on there saying hi, Mom, on behalf of Brian.
Oh,
Hi,
hi.
son.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Brian. All right, let's see. Amber Pierce, Claudia Silvio Garcia, Elba Jimenez, Manuel Cortinas, my cousin over there in Texas, Bob, Orvie Fink, Evelyn Dominguez, Lupe Mendez, Liz Miranda Torres says hi. Let's see, I did something weird again. Falcon says, hi ladies, I trust for you. Falcon, I don't. David Gomez, Jules Martinez Hers. Hi, Jules.
Hi, Jules.
Jules is another powerful
Yes.
Latina entrepreneur, and she is the etiquette coach. You can check out her website.
Yes.
And she was on my show, so make sure that you check out all the other shows that I have. You can also go to my YouTube page where at Sandylu Guerrero, and you can see all the videos and all the different people that I've had here. It's all about transforming your life, empowering you to create the life that you desire, because you can have it all. All right, Jay Quiroz, James Cisneros, Blanca Regnaga, Abel
Hi, Blanca.
Villanova, John William Sugden, Mario Valdez, Blanca
Yes.
says hi. Livier, hello, Livier.
Hi, Livier,
our
Madam President.
of NLBWA, another powerful Latina entrepreneur. Hi, Veronica.
Hi,
Corona. All right, let's see. Armando Maximus, Ceci Carrillo, Jose Rubio, Roselle Schaefer. Hello, Roselle, another powerful leader. Sandy Williams, another powerful
Yes.
leader, former NLBWA board member, and also in the mortgage industry. Let's see, Jose Bedoya. Let's see, I trust for you, Falcon says, this year I challenged myself to open my nonprofit, and I finally did, and now I am like, OMG, I did it. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. Let's see, Kristen Webster says hi. Oh yeah, you saw that one.
Yes,
Olga,
hi, Kristen.
Olga Carlos shows. I've known her since like high school. Her sisters, their whole family. So hi to the whole Carlos family. Jennifer Aviles, another one.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer. And let's see, Roselle Schaefer says, there is no failure. It's a challenge that needs another perspective to overcome. Oh, I like that.
I like that too.
Awesome. And she was in one of my women's groups too. She's awesome.
No wonder she speaks that language.
She's awesome.
Good job, Sandylu.
Christina Gutierrez, Rafael Palomino. All right, everyone.
Hi, Christina.
So if you just logged on and you missed it, you can always watch it on the replay. You can watch the rest of my shows on the replay, and also on YouTube. You can check out Sandylu Guerrero on YouTube. Subscribe so that you get notifications when I'm uploading new videos, which I'll be working on new videos for you as well. And any last message for our followers here, our viewers?
Let's see. Well, I just, want to encourage everyone to, take advantage of your surroundings, take advantage of the opportunities, the tools and the resources that are around you, and be kind to yourself. I think that's really important. We don't do that enough, and that's what I would just like to share.
All right.
Be kind.
And never stop learning and growing. Never stop learning and
Yes.
growing. You could never know too much, and there's always resources available to us, always, especially
Yes.
nowadays with social media. There's just so much available to us. Thank you once again for
Thank you,
joining
Sandylu.
me. I really appreciate it, and I am grateful for our friendship and our everything.
Same.
I
Same
mean,
here,
you've been a
absolutely.
blessing, so thank you very much. But anyway, everyone, thank you so much for following. If you just got on, remember, you can watch it on the replay. Remember to share. And I will be back next week. I will be changing the date soon of when I will be having my shows. However, I will be back next week and I'll be giving you some more updates and more information on some changes. But thank you all for watching. Remember that you have the power to choose how you want to live your life from moment to moment. You do have a choice. Thank you, everyone. Oh, quick one. How do they get a hold of you? Oh my
wonderful.
gosh.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Rewind.
So you can go to my website at www.myhrspecialist.com, or you can find me at Facebook, My HR Specialist.
All right, everyone. If you want to get a hold of me, just message me on Facebook and I'm there. All right. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Remember, you have a choice.
Good night.
That's a wrap.
Good job, ladies.